Shrim Rim Klim Glam Gam Ganapatiye Varavarada Saravajanam Eva Shabbat.
Life as we know it really cannot continue the way that it has been. But if we want some semblance of life as we know it, we need to take action now. The planet will go on in some form. It's just whether or not we will be here to see it.
Oh my God. I know I'm a part of this. I know that my individual behavior affects climate change. Tell me what to do. What should I do?
This is the planet that supports us. There isn't any other.
This is the issue of our lifetime. Make no mistake about it. There's no way to overstate how important this is.
We cannot afford not to do something. I mean, this is our very existence is at stake here, and our children's future, our own future. We can't afford not to do anything.
Use less water. We're all going to have to find some way to do that because water is going to be more limiting than energy in the near term. They both are. The two are running on parallel courses of depletion.
The diamonds and water paradox. And the basic idea is that you'd think water is much more valuable than diamonds, and yet water has never commanded a very high price. The question was, why don't we value water more? Our lives depend on it.
Us doing something small of creating our front yard to be grassless and have water drought tolerant plants native to this area, we use less water.
We have a well here, and so our landscaping is, the water is brought out of the ground and seeps back into the ground.
This car I'm standing next to is a 2008 Honda Civic, natural gas powered vehicle, NGV. There's no difference between this car and a regular Honda Civic. It's really quite a unique vehicle. It's basically emissions free. The natural gas burns clean, and that's the other thing about this car. Is you can probably drive this car 500,000 or 600,000 miles. It's definitely, in my opinion, the wave of the future. There's plenty of natural gas in this earth. There's more than we can use, much more than we can use.
We're running biodiesel. This particular mix, I guess, is like kind of a soy-based biodiesel. And it's a 0.7 liter Bosch turbo diesel, which we're getting in excess of 70 miles per gallon on.
Party want to rock out in.
One of the things that the college is doing, we have Zipcar here now. We have 2 Zipcars, and I think we may be looking at a 3rd fairly soon. And that definitely has some terrific benefits. Less cars come to campus as a result.
I hope that we will have giant pedestrian promenades which would crisscross the city hundreds of kilometers in different directions, that people will ride bicycles, but not for 1 mile or 2, but for 50, 100, 200 miles.
How our children perceive transportation is a major problem. If we can teach them that it is not a weird thing to do or a nerdy thing to do to ride an electric scooter to school, that in the long run will solve many, many problems.
We need to reduce more than we need to just recycle.
How can we improve the way we do things to reduce the pollution that we're creating?
We can live with less. It's almost a rethinking of the American lifestyle, which is more and more and more. And in a way, it's difficult to take yourself back and say, well, we can do with less.
Richard Branson offered a couple $1 million recently for somebody to come up with some technological solution to global warming, and I'll give it to him in 2 words: plant trees.
This is a tree care event today. Most of the volunteers are high school age students. They care about their community and want to come out and give some time on a Saturday to make a difference where they live.
I'm digging up non-native plants because they're harmful to the environment and they take up the place of actually native plants.
What's my personal motivation for this? Some of it is because I see people go away, with big smiles on their face, and they're happy. And all they've done is work until their hands are filthy, their backs hurt, and they're tired and they're sweaty, but they're happy. it's just a wonderful experience to be out here healing the earth. And that's what one of my boys, my OBA boys, said. We're healers. We're healing the earth. And he's right. He was right. That's what we're doing.
To find an ecosystem like this where you can grow things year-round, I mean, we're pretty lucky here in Southern California, especially in Los Angeles. And what we've done is we've just concreted over all that beauty for our convenience.
If you just think about the economics of one compact fluorescent light bulb, every compact fluorescent light bulb that's sitting on the shelf there right now has a net present value of $30.
I was a Marine in the first Gulf War, and I remember being in Kuwait City, being covered with drops of oil, and talking to a friend of mine. He was a Marine also. We're sitting in a foxhole, and we're saying, you know, if we survive this war, let's do like Tom and Huckleberry Finn and go down the Mississippi River. I built myself a raft and went down the entire Mississippi. I could always look left or right and see plastic.
We have an interesting facility that really generates all its power from solar energy equipment on the roof.
Solar energy is always going to give you equity in the home because you're replacing your energy costs.
What it is it's a hedge against inflation.
The most cost-effective use of solar today is solar pool heating.
Wind is a resource in Vermont that we can tap into to generate electricity. The wind in Vermont that is strong enough for commercial generation is along the ridgelines.
What Green Century does is invest in companies that are environmentally friendly, that are in the business of solving environmental problems or committed to reducing their environmental impact.
I'm a community planner and an architect. I'm doing an affordable, green, co-housing community in Sebastopol.
The big problem up till now has been that whereas we invest very carefully and studiously in other types of capital, like our man-made capital, the buildings around us, our cars, our computers, and all the other infrastructure that keeps society humming, and yet we do nothing for natural capital. So the light bulb that's going off in people's minds right now is that, well, for the first time, relative to demand, natural capital is becoming scarce at a global level.
I joined the Marine Corps wanting to do the right thing for my country. And now, 15 years later, I know without a doubt that sustainability is the right fight. It's worth fighting for and nothing else.
One simple act can make a difference. We all need to do a lot of acts. We all need to do things like drive as efficient a cars as we can, not idle. Turn off the car if you're not actually driving it. Keep the car maintained. Those are the sorts of things we can do in transportation. We can carpool where possible. There are many steps we can do. Use compact fluorescent light bulbs. All those things help reduce our use of energy.
The challenge of climate change is not to go live in a cave. The challenge is how do we create a lifestyle and a quality of life that we want with an energy supply that's sustainable.
When you walk into a home, you're going to change the paint, you're going to change the tile, you're going to change the carpet. So when you leave that home, say 15, 20 years, you're going to leave it better than when you bought it. If we look at the earth and the world the same way, we come in, we can't change what's there right there. But when we leave it, if we can leave it better for the next person, it's just, that's what we should be doing.